Hi everyone, it's Stella Grizont doing a Work Happier Weekly, and I'm so excited to talk to you today about something that I have definitely struggled with, which is delegating. So I don't know if any of you can relate. Hey Amy, I don't know if any of you can relate when it comes to delegating. One of the things that I found absolutely dreadful because I'm a perfectionist is worrying that they're not going to get it right. They're not going to get it to be as good as I would do. So I might as well just do it myself, right? How many of you are, I might as well just do it myself? Or this one's even better. It's going to take me so much time to show them how to do what they need to do that it's just better if I do it myself, right? So how many of you have that little guilty thought? So there's lots of reasons for why we struggle and resist delegating. And today I want to talk to you about 3 ways that you can start delegating even better, because there are one of my clients, it was very interesting, very senior executive who ran a team of 100 people. And she resisted delegating because she really felt like she had to take care of everything. And she just said, you know what, I'm just not good at delegating, Stella. It's always been one of the things I've just been horrible at. And meanwhile, she has 2 children, and her husband takes care of them in the morning and the evening and does a lot of tasks around the house. And I said, you say you're not good at delegating, but here you are, and you've delegated so many tasks to your husband. So for those of you who just feel like you're bad at delegating, I bet there's a place in your life, just search for it, where you're really good at letting go. Maybe it's around letting go of cleaning or meal prep or childcare, or maybe it's around letting go of a certain realm of your work. So I just want you to know that you've already started because it's impossible to do everything, and we're going to make it go even better. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to delegating even better is what's getting in the way. Like, what is that belief that's holding you back? What do you believe to be true about asking someone else to help you out with something? So one of the things that that I mentioned at the top was I'm the only one who can do a great job, or no one can do it better than I can, right? Maybe that's one of the beliefs. Or it's faster if I just do it. Or if I give all my work away, then what's going to be left? Maybe they're going to realize that they don't need me anymore, right? So maybe there's a fear of not feeling needed. Another common thing that I see happening with leaders, especially the more senior they become, and as they transition from being an individual contributor to a manager to a director, etc., is you're so used to doing a certain type of work and working really hard that when you reach that next level of your career, you're not used to not doing as much. You have to start using a different part of your skill set. And so what you defined as hard work is changing. And so you have to let go of some of those tasks. That was actually a common theme for my client who was promoted to COO of his organization. And he found himself like working all these late nights, and his boss, the CEO, was asking him to do more strategic level work. And meanwhile, he was still busying himself with the reports that he used to do in his previous role. And when we talked about it, what he realized is that he felt like he needed to work hard, and because he wasn't comfortable, because it was new with his new strategic role, he found it more comfortable to just be doing. So watch out if that's one of your things, is if you do because you're comfortable with it. What's another reason? I took some notes before we started this. Anyway, I think that gives you enough. And so pick one or think of one reason why you have some resistance delegating. Maybe sometimes you like to just help everyone else out and you want to come in as the hero because you just know that Tammy isn't going to get in on time, or she's not going to do it well, so you'll just cover up for her. So whatever that reason is, the first thing I want you to do is write down that reason. Like, what's that story you're telling yourself for why maybe delegating well isn't your thing? And I want you to actually write this down, and you can like rewatch this video later, but if you have a pen and paper, write it down right now. The reason why I want you to write it down is because when we write it down, it takes the power out of that belief. Because when it's in our head, it just sounds like it's the absolute truth. But when we write it down, like for example, I'm worried I'm going to lose my job if I delegate more. When you write it down, you're going to be like, that's actually not totally true. So that's the next thing I want you to do, is be like, how is this belief not totally true? And so I want you to argue your belief. Okay, so that's step one. And you guys can like rewatch this. I'm gonna keep going through. So you wanna identify the belief that's holding you back from delegating and just argue with it a little bit. Be willing to see it differently, okay? The next thing I want you to do, and this might be something that you want to keep notes on over the week, is I want you to start creating a list of all the tasks that you do at home and at work. Because if you're feeling overwhelmed by stuff at home, that's really going to affect you at work, and vice versa. So I want you to come up with a master list. And this is an exhaustive list. And this is tedious stuff. This is, I have to say, this part is a little annoying, but I want you to get really clear on all the tasks that you are fulfilling. And I want you to bucket them into energizing, depleting, or neutral. Okay? And then once you have your depleting column, which is all the tasks that you just feel like you're pushing so hard to get done, that maybe aren't aligned with your strengths, that you're doing completely out of obligation, a sense of obligation for like a should, like I should do this, right? I want you to look at that column, and then what I want you to get clear on is what is absolutely your responsibility and what is absolutely critical for you to do for the like well-being of your team, for the contribution to your organization, and then what parts do you not really have to own? And when you get clear on the parts that you don't have to own, or that might be better owned by someone else, or maybe you realize, actually, my team can do a status meeting without me. I don't need to actually oversee it. Once you get clear on those things, that's going to be your area to play with and experiment with. So my client, who I told you, who manages 100 or so people, one of the things that she found extremely depleting was attending the status meetings, because she felt like she wasn't contributing. Her team really did it very well, and it was just their way of updating her. But meanwhile, she could get that update consolidated in 10 minutes instead of 1 hour. And so when I asked her, how do you feel about letting that go and having your team just bring you a quick update every week, it was a struggle for her, because she was worried about, would it be too much for them? And all this stuff came up. And so I said, how about this? Let's experiment. Let's give them 4 status meetings to do on their own and see how it works for all of you guys. And then you can decide if that's something you want to delegate. So it doesn't have to be so scary. We can break this up into small experiments, all right? So I think, you guys, that's my 3 things for how to delegate better for today. So what I'd love you to do is, if you like this, love this, like it, love it, and share it with someone who could use it. That would be really great. And the other thing I want to leave you with, this parting thought, is that when you let go, you're actually enabling other people to shine. And so when you're hoarding all these tasks because you think you're being the martyr or you're being the hero, you're actually keeping opportunities away from other people to contribute and do their best, because the stuff that you find depleting might actually be really energizing and exciting to someone else on your team. So I would highly encourage you guys, experiment with this, consider what that limiting belief is, argue with it a little bit, make that list of tasks, depleting, energizing, and neutral. Really take apart the depleting part and choose a few things that you want to experiment with delegating, and there you go. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching the Work Happier Weekly this week. I'm Stella Grizont from WUPA, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.